Hello and welcome to your live Wednesday webinar. My name is Jared Krebs. I am here in San Antonio, Texas. And before we bring on our guest speaker for today, I want to remind you of 10 things to expect when building your USANA business. Number one, there will be ups and downs, just like anything. Number two, success or failure is up to you. If you succeed, it's because of you. If you fail, it's because of you, not because of the person who invited you to USANA. Number three, the goal is for you to become independent and be an independent leader for your team. Number four, make your plan on the weekends. Do it, review it, and make adjustments. Plan, do, review, and adjust. Number five, it's going to take time. It's going to take 1 year to become competent at the skill sets to do this. It's going to take 3 years to build a significant part-time income. It's going to take 5 years to build a significant full-time income and 7 years to become world-class. It can happen faster, but it's going to take time. Number six, it takes consistency. Consistent work and hustle. Nothing's more important than consistency. Number seven, you're going to have to grow and get outside of your comfort zone. Number eight, mental toughness is necessary. Number nine, the grass is not greener in other companies. I've seen people leave USANA and never make what they made in their USANA business. And number 10, this is a long-term game. USANA is 27 years strong with over $2.5 billion paid out to its associates. It's given me and my wife, Crystal, a full-time income for over a decade, as well as thousands of people who've made a full-time income, and hundreds of thousands have made a part-time income at USANA. It works if you work. And last bonus tip, remember, amateurs sell products, but professionals sell the vision. Make sure that you're having your clients watch these videos. Make sure that you're inviting your clients and prospects onto these webinars, because they'll get to see not only that USANA is a great product, but they'll see the lifestyle, the tax savings, the financial stability, and also the personal growth and development, the community, so many things that USANA provides. And few have done it as well as top silver director Becki Armstrong out of Raleigh, North Carolina. I am honored to have you on today, Becki. She's actually part of our personal team in USANA, and she has grown and grown, and now she is leading teams. She is doing all the things. She's making it happen in USANA. Becki Armstrong, welcome to the call. We're excited to hear your story.
Hello, thank you.
Awesome. So we want to just know, like, what was your life before USANA? What were some of maybe the health challenges? Also, what attracted you to the USANA business part? I know tax savings has been a big part of your story. And how did you overcome those challenges to be successful in your business today? And what's your life like with USANA? And we want to hear from you for about 15 minutes on your story, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Okay, sounds good. I am totally pitch hitting. I was not prepared for this and not planning on it. So you get the raw and real Becki on this one. My life before. The thing that I would just encourage you is that the people you know aren't always telling you the whole story. I never told you anything that wasn't true, but my life before had a lot of hidden things. I was married to an alcoholic for 20 years. And, you know, if you've been in love or had a family member with a dependency problem, you understand that on the good days, he was my best friend. I was totally in love with my husband. On his worst days, he tore my life apart. Okay. So, okay, Ron, so you shall
Doing great.
Okay.
It's awesome that you're sharing and being really transparent for the team and for people to watch. So thank you.
There are other people out there. And the thing about it, to my family, to my friends, you know, they're not stupid. They figured some of it out. But I would tell them I'm fine. And, you know, one of the blights of being an over-the-top optimist is I actually believed that. I thought I was fine, you know? And if there's 99 things in your life going wrong, you can usually find one thing to focus on that's going right. And that's what I did. And so I had a great life. I had a great job. I worked in the real estate title insurance industry. And in 2008, unfortunately, that industry fell into the toilet. And everybody, their neighbors, everybody you knew, maybe even some of you were going through bankruptcy or foreclosures. Being in that industry, obviously I lost my job. There just were no jobs. And that's the thing I had done since out of high school. And so even though I had some really good skills, I couldn't get a job. I couldn't get the interviews. So I scrapped around for about 1.5 years. I went back to school full time. Here I am. I'm now at this point newly divorced, a single mom, full-time college student, and just scrapping by, but I got the mortgage paid. Everything was fine. At this time, my dad started getting really sick, and Betty had found a company and a product that was helping him significantly with his diabetes. And he took it and he saw great results until he just got too proud and wouldn't take it anymore. And then his health declined like really fast at that point. I don't know, how the two were related. I just know the two happened at the same time. And but this whole time she kept telling me about this product and about this company. And she kept telling me, and I kept saying, no, Betty, really, I'm fine. I'm fine. No, I'm not interested. I'm fine. And I told her that for 7 years. And finally, it was about 6 years into the journey, I got fed up with my weight, which had just creeped up, maybe 5 pounds a year. It wasn't very much, just a little bit of weight gain, that holiday, Christmas weight, whatever that you never get rid of. But over 10 years, 5 years at a time, puts you 50 pounds overweight. And I'd tried the yo-yo thing. I'd done every fad diet. Most of us, right? We've all done it. I called her up and I said, whatever this thing is you're doing, just send some to me. Well, she sent it to me, and I immediately put it under my desk and left it there for like 3 months. I don't know, it was forever, because it scared me. I don't know why. It just, so there was a lot of resistance to change in my life. Finally, just one thing after another, and I realized I was not fine. I was not doing okay. Betty swooped in. She's the dear and the angel in my life, and she just brought hope. She brought hope. She brought courage, and in an instant, in one morning, I changed everything. I'm doing it again. Sorry. I knocked on her door. She was staying at my house. I knocked on the guest room door, and I'm like, holy cow, Betty, is this really true? But no, I think it's true. I Googled it. I did all the research. Yeah, I think it's true. But would it be true for me? Could I do this industry? And then I waited. And I waited for her answer. And she said yes. And so then I said yes. And it was the best decision in my life ever. I just did it. And I jumped in. I had set this really ambitious goal to be away from my boss. I had a boss that made all the girls in the office cry. And I wanted to be out of that job in 6 months. That was my goal. And I'm thinking in my head, well, if I can do it in a year, that'd be great. But 6 months, yeah. Now, because I was in that business mindset, when another business opportunity came up and I had a chance to start my own title insurance business, I jumped at it. I never would have otherwise. So it totally prepared the way. And so I started the business. The company's USANA. And I started that business with Betty. And then 4 months later, I was suddenly full-time as a business owner, now owning 2 businesses and doing it. And everything that I learned in USANA built strength, built character, built skills that I took into my title insurance business. And so both of them have been growing as a result of that morning with Betty. And how am I doing on time? I'm about there on time. Okay, no, still more time. So anyway, the products are fabulous. Okay, so moving forward, the title insurance business sucked up a bunch of my time, but I still went to all of the USANA trainings. I went to every event, every training, everything. I got connected. They say birds of a feather flock together. The whole level of people that I'm friends with now was elevated. They pulled me into such a tight community and just a positivity. Before I was the optimist, I was always, generating my own feel goods. This was genuine feel goods. We had real reason to encourage each other because this thing is incredible in our lives. And okay, so, but all this work that I'm doing with my new business, I'm sitting at a desk a long time, my weight starts creeping back up. And before I know it, now I'm 100 pounds overweight, and I get diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Now, type 2 diabetes is what killed my dad. Scary stuff, scary. And so now, again, I make the decision and I make radical changes. I remember I was at the airport, we stopped and got a hamburger, and I've eaten some French fries with mayonnaise on it. Love that stuff. I know it's weird. But I'm looking at this French fry going, this may be the last French fry dipped in mayonnaise that I ever eat, because I had decided I was going to do what it took. I took the change, made the changes that the physician taught me, changes in what I ate. I added nutritional products. USANA was a big part. Now, it's important to know that USANA is not the cure, but it was a huge part in just feeding my cells. And started exercising. I started doing everything I said. I lost 41 pounds in the first 14 weeks. And, you know, I will never diet again. It's a lifestyle change. It's a mentality change. And that really, now I am so excited by what I had. You can't shut me up. I'm just telling everybody, you know, this thing that I've got to tell you about, because like I said, it's not just hype. It's not just hope. It's real solutions. And I've applied it first in my own life. I've experienced it. So I'm not afraid to say, this could work for you. Let's give it a shot, you know, and because of that excitement, my business now is just taking off. And I've got people now, a team of people that are working with me. So my efforts are multiplied. And so if I work a little bit, it's 4 times the result. It's just fabulous. It's just fabulous. I don't know what else to say. Did I do it?
I love it. Wow, this is so exciting. I mean, well, I've been watching you from afar for all these years. And of course, I also didn't know like your whole story of all the things that you went through. And it's so cool to hear how you are just enjoying life now. You're healthier. Your team is obviously growing. I mean, you're one of the fastest growing teams in USANA. And I just want to know, like, I guess, share us a little bit about how much weight you were able to lose, how your health is today thanks to being on the products. And then also, like, what has helped you make that shift in the business, right? Because you were in for quite some time and just kind of like there, right? But now you're bringing people in and making things happen. So what made that shift? So I guess it's a 2-part question.
Okay. So my health. I really, my lowest point was at 41 pounds. I wobbled up just a little bit, and I've been in a plateau for like a year. And I was talking to the dietitian, Sue Ward at Sana Vive, and I'm like, I'm on this plateau. And she says, Becky, do you remember we talked about plateaus are good? I don't like them. But so if you're on a plateau, it's good. My body's figuring everything out. And, you know, I'm ready for that next dip. But I'm doing all the things health-wise that I should. How that impacts my health. I love to I travel all the time. I'm always on the road traveling somewhere. And I like to, you know, people pick up my suitcase at the airport, and those poor airline carriers who have to pick it up is 40 to 50 pounds. And they pick that thing up and they set it up on the baggage. I was picking that much weight up everywhere I went. Every time I got up out of a chair, every time I climbed a flight of stairs or walked across the room, I was carrying 40 pounds of weight that now I don't carry. So, I mean, there's the difference. I mean, it's simple, simple, simple. And so I feel good. I have so much energy. My knees within a week of making changes didn't hurt going up the stairs. And I was really leaning on the banister. I'm 53 years old now. It's, you know, I'm not the spring chicken, and I had put years of abuse on my body. No, you know, I don't hurt anymore. So the switch in my business, it really happened strangely at an event we went to. There was a local event called the Elite Performance Summit, and I went and we met with people, and I got really excited, and I put down a game plan, and I said, I am going to do this now. This is the time for me. This is the time of Becki. And I got really excited, and then I didn't send a text, and I didn't make a call for a month. I got scared. And this is a fear management business. It's scary to talk to your friends and be this vulnerable. You might cry on Facebook, you know, it's and so I called up my business partner. I called Betty, And I said, I'm not doing anything. I can't, I just can't consistently get there. And she said, come to Sweet Retreat, come to San Diego. Let's hang out with the girls. We'll do some facials. We'll have a lot of girl time. We'll figure it out. And I went to Sweet Retreat, and we got so excited. We're sitting in the meeting and we're talking, and we got so excited. We had to leave the meeting, go back to the room and start our plan because we couldn't even finish it. And from then on, we've just been on fire. And the third thing would be just that as I started talking to it, Christian, who has been so supportive of me from day one, he started looking at the tax benefits. I saved $8,000 in taxes this year, and he didn't. And so he said, I'm going to go in. And I was talking to his cousin, and she said, yeah, I'm interested in it because of the tax benefits. And I talked to Christian. I said, hey, Ion's going in. If you want to go in now, get in first because you want a benefit of having her on your team. She's going to be a dynamo, and she is just got so much bringing to the table. And so they kind of just pulled each other in. And once that happened, it was a snowball ride from there. We just kept gaining momentum as we rolled downhill. It was just easy.
Wow. So you saved $8,000 on your taxes and your boyfriend didn't.
Yes.
So now Christian is like, let's go. And he has. And then Ione also for tax savings, but I know she loves the products and she already has a couple clients that's growing. And then it seemed like, just now, of course, working more closely with you and your team, it's like now we have Michael Robinson, who's blowing it up, making it happen. And now Annie Clark, another new associate there, Ciara Crumpler, another new associate. They're all like growing, and it's like Becki and Betty's business is going. And it's just like so cool to watch because you overcame so many things. Now, let me ask you, what was your plan? Okay, because I know there's two sides of it. Like you have a plan, but then you also you were still not acting on the plan, right? So you had the plan, and then of course you started acting on the plan. So what was the plan, or what is your plan right now? What do you do every day?
So the plan was just to really deeply connect with people, to share my story and hear their story, because really they don't care about my story until they know I care about them. And I've been talking about this, my weight loss and my diabetes reversal and all these things I've been doing. I've been talking about this for a year or more with most of my friends, but I never stopped to say, okay, now let's focus on you. And so I've got a goal. I actually downloaded my Facebook thing. So if you're on Facebook, prepare to hear from me sometime this year. I want to call every single person on my list and just say, where are you at? Let me tell you my story. And then you tell me your story, and let's rock. Let's see, what we can do to help each other.
So are you actually calling them, or are you starting it on Facebook Messenger? Or tell me more about that.
I don't have a lot of phone numbers of these people. A lot of people I don't. So yeah, I usually send a Facebook message, and I just say, hey, I got something exciting. If you're open to hear about it, let's talk. And they usually say, oh, okay, yeah, let's talk.
Cool.
Then we
actually a really good script. Okay, so I have something excited. If you're open to hearing about it, let's talk.
Yeah.
And every friend on your Facebook. So how many friends do you have? I like that plan. How many friends do you have?
Let me look.
Friends, I guess friends outside of our company, right? I'm sure you have a lot of friends within the company, but then.
I'm still trying to talk to them too. I figure, everybody needs encouragement, whether you know about the product or not. I needed it. 1,476.
476. Okay. 1, so that's what?
1,476.
Okay, 1,476. So that's a lot of people. You definitely don't need to go sit at Barnes and Noble and meet people with your 1,400 Facebook friends.
About 4 a day.
Facebook has literally changed the game. Like, I love it, and you are definitely making it happen on social media. So all right, so you had your plan, but you weren't necessarily like acting on it, and then you said that going to Sweet Retreat and going to events helped push you into actually doing it and making the calls and being consistent. So tell us a little bit more. What makes you feel like the events helped you get into action?
Well, okay, there was actually one speaker. Is the author of Girl Wash Your Face, Rachel, what's her last name? Somebody help me out in the comments. Anyway, so Rachel, she got up and she talked about how she had been working her business in the dark. And
working her business in the dark. Okay.
You know, like I said, Christian has been incredibly supportive of me, but I still tried to, you know, only Rachel Homer. Yeah. Anyway, he's been supportive of me, but you know, I had my title insurance business that I did in the 8 to 5. And then I had about an hour at a time that I could work my business before Christian got home. And then I didn't want it to interrupt him. I wanted to have dinner. We wanted to have fun. We wanted to, you know, I wanted to be the good girlfriend, lots of Netflix, lots of, you know, whatevers. But I came home from that and I said, you know, I can't work it in the dark anymore. I can't just work it when it doesn't inconvenience somebody because my dream is important. And he was like, of course it is. He did, you know, there was no pushback. He's been, and so I said, I am going to book it really heavy for the next, I don't know, probably a year till I get all these Facebook friends reached. And then, you know, but my list keeps growing. So I don't know if I'll ever get to the bottom of it.
Love it. Love it. All right. Let's open it up for questions. We have Sue Ann Knobloch from San Antonio. And by the way, if you have a question, go ahead and type it in the chat. And if you're watching on Facebook, type it in right now in the comments and I'll read it from Facebook Live. Okay. Sue Ann says, what books do you like for self-development?
Oh, goodness. I should have been, you always ask that. I should have been prepared. Oh, man, there's been so many. You know, the GoPro is always good. Darren Hardy's Roller Coaster Entrepreneur or something. I'll have to look up. I'll put that in the comments later. Right now I'm reading a book called Influence, and it's really good. I am constantly reading. I've discovered the app Audibles, and it's really cool because as soon as you get in one, it's a rabbit hole. They just keep, you know, and I'll hear a book. I'll go to an event, and then I've got, I was just reading Girl Wash Your Face because I went to an event and they mentioned it. So whatever it is I hear, I pick it up and I read it because I'm in the car a lot, and we just listen as we drive.
I really like Audible. Audible is one of the best things. Just audiobooks, plays right on your phone. It remembers where you stopped. Yes. And it's just great. Yeah, Audible has been huge for me too. Thank you for sharing that. If you don't have Audible, just go to the app store of your phone and type in Audible. You get your first audiobook for free. I think you have to put your card on file or something, but still it's like worth it. So yes, Audible. Thank you for sharing that, Becki. Mm-hmm. All right. Any other questions? We have a couple minutes left. Sharon McKenzie says, thank you, Becki. So relevant and heartfelt. Aw. Randy Krebs says, you and your team has massive growth in the past few weeks, multiple rank advancements, multiple associates, multiple clients. What do you attribute to your success?
Well, he started it out with the success. It's my team. I mean, and just the groundwork that the Krebs have laid, Jared and Randy and Crystal, that just to bring people into what the 5 levels of leadership book calls level 3, where they produce, where you start having production. You've got to first get them to give you permission. You've got to get through level 2, where they buy in, and that takes a big vision. And it also takes, leadership starts with you. You have to do it first, and then you do it with them, and then they do it with you. And then pretty soon they're doing it and they don't need you because they got it. And then eventually they're doing it with somebody else and the process starts again. And so we have those processes in place, and I never would have figured them out. I just wouldn't have. I would have been stuck, and the processes keep me unstuck.
Ooh, I like that. What's that book?
The 5 Levels of Leadership by John Maxwell.
Okay.
I'm actually teaching that in about an hour.
Oh, interesting. That's exciting. Well, you got a warm-up webinar.
Yes.
Well, that's really cool to hear that we actually have been doing something that we didn't even know was actually a book about it, but that I really admire that you've done that personal growth and you can really talk about those different phases, because that really does make a difference to be able to lead your team and know what part you're in. So I need to check that out. Thank you for sharing that. All right. So last question. I guess we're almost out of time here, but I have two last questions. Okay. So, and anybody who has a question, this is your last shot. If you have a question, I know we started late, but type in your question. But okay. So we did this we're having trouble finding a speaker for today's webinar. And I asked you with like 10 minutes to spare if you would be willing to jump on, and you had to face your fears, and you didn't really have time to think about anything. And here you are, and this is like one of our best stories out of like our 90 plus stories. So like, can you just share with me, like, how did you deal with that? I mean, I literally asked you on the fly. Just talk to me about dealing with that type of adversity or unexpected. You didn't wake up expecting to be the featured guest on today's webinar.
No. And usually I have an arsenal of slides to give me a security blanket. I didn't have any of that. Okay, so, well, part of it is I fell back into the story that I've been telling people over and over, and the story's developed. But the more you talk about your story, the easier it just falls out of your mouth. Mm-hmm. When you you said, could I do this? And actually, probably 2 years ago, Randy asked me, all he wanted me to do was introduce him at a meeting. I had to stand up, tell about my friendship with Randy, edify him, get off the stage. And he called me and said, would you do this? I didn't return the phone call for half a day because I was really hoping he'd find somebody else. And he did. And at that point, I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to get over this, because I've got to get over this. And so the next time I went to Salt Lake City, I called him up and I told him what I'd done. And he knew, of course. And I said, if you're going to speak again, I want to do over. Can I do it? And then I introduced he and Viola a couple of times, different times. Each time I went to Salt Lake City, they made sure I got up on stage. And in this case, Jared asked me, and I'm like, I can't. I've got all this stuff I've got going on right now. I'm talking in an hour, and I'm like, in my head, I'm saying no, 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 and in my mind, I went, nope. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Another excellent book, The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins, and I went, yes, Jared, I'll do it. But holy crap, I was sitting there. I hadn't even gotten dressed for the day because I work at home. So I ran downstairs, threw some clothes on, put some makeup on, combed my hair, and put my camera on. And here I am.
I love it. I love it. Man, this is so great. And it turned out so amazing. All right. Well, thank you, Becki, for sharing that. Being willing to overcome maybe the inner resistance, and it sounds like you've really done that and continue to do that with your business, and it's clearly showing in your growth. And I mean, it's like super exciting. So last question is, what advice do you have for everybody who's watching this webinar? Some people are in that plateau phase of their business. Other people have been in many years. Other people are brand new. But what's like the main piece of advice you want to end our call
with? Okay, so I just heard this recently, made advice. I would say if you have a dream that's still unfulfilled, something you want to do, be it little or be it big, you're probably stuck in fear, just like I was. Or you would have done it already. So face your fears. Just go for it, because your dreams are worth it.
Boom. Love it. Thank you so much, Becki. I think we all can take that advice in our life and really apply it. So that's really awesome. Thank you for sharing. This has been a great webinar. I am super excited that we have it. Thank you, Becki, for taking time out of your busy schedule. And everybody, please let's unmute the lines and say thank you, Becki, and have an awesome day.
Thank you, Becki.
Have an awesome day.
Yay. God bless.
Thank you, Becki. Have an awesome day. I'm going to call you.
Yeah.